So I was just sharing that, when I really and truly look back on it, how I really never experienced racism. Like, it was never something that was over, very overt in my life. Like I said, when I did experience it, it was the short time that I experienced it was in college. And then actually it maybe was not even it then, because what I thought was racism. So my boyfriend at the time had this T-shirt on, and you could say that it was of what do we call it? The sexual positions, but it's
missionary?
No, babe, not missionary.
Okay.
Tantric, or the what do we call it? The
porno?
No, babe, not porno.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's in the yoga tradition. It's just, in a Kashmir shave. I
know tantric.
Yeah, but no, the position, the sexual part of tantra.
Cowgirl?
Okay, stop it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on. I don't even know what cowgirl is.
Riding the horse on top. Yeah.
God. So anyway, no, it wasn't that. Anyway, so he had a T-shirt on, had all of these different positions on it, right? And so this is back in the early 1990s. So the cop was like, that is basically saying that you're displaying pornography, or you're displaying whatever. And he was like, and me being a girlfriend, what do you mean? Why are you harassing him? Right. But the cop was like, I can arrest you for flagrant, indecent, something along those lines. But and at the same time, like, I don't know what the cop's motive was, but at the same time, that could not have been, because the color of our skin. It could have been because he really did not want kids seeing, these different sexual positions.
What was the racist part? I don't get it.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. It probably wasn't racist. I'm just thinking
can't have that on your shirt. Like, it has to be something.
Right.
Like
he didn't say that. So and when I was also telling you was that the other part of racism that I did experience was self-imposed. Right. Because I was in Minnesota.
Okay.
And then everybody, and when I got there, they were like, you will rarely ever see a black couple. Oh. Because the black men are not into black women. They'd rather have the white. So it was a self-imposed racism, because then when I was walking around the Mall of America, that's what I was seeing. I was seeing interracial relationships, and me not being in a relationship at the time, I started to self-loathe. I started to self-deprecate. It's because I'm black and nobody wants me. It was self-imposed. It was so
But is that racism?
That's what I'm saying. It's not. But in this society, I was bred in almost, my mind, what they want us to believe is all this shit is racism, when really, when you stop and dissect it, it really isn't.
Okay. I see what you're saying while you're going down the road of self-imposed, but I was really curious of what you meant by that. I was like, you just calling yourself a nigga? Like, how was it?
No, what I was saying is because that, it's against black women.
Right. Just self-depreciating your,
because I'm black, because I'm a woman, because and the black men in Minnesota don't want black, so that's a form of racism. And here's the thing, I don't think that racism is just institutionalized, or it's just from one group to another. There's interpersonal racism, because I know that a lot of
people say that racism, it's not true racism unless there's agendas a part of it, including financial, keep you down financially, keep you in the projects. That's they really like to add that extra edge of finance and power, not just I don't like the color. That is the leading part of it, but you have to also include the parts that keep the color down and keep them.
Well, that's
right.
So and that's what the hand of racism that Jody's husband Tyrone, that's what he teaches on.
Yes.
That it is, and I'm not talking about the systemic racism right now. I'm talking about the type of racism that we can control within our lives. But just to touch on that, because it's a good point. So in the systemic racism, he talks about it's a hand, and it's finance, it's political, it's criminal justice, it's real estate, and it's finance, political justice, real estate, criminal justice, and politics.
I'm sorry, about to say, in the real deal of it, the hand needs more fingers.
Yeah, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're not going down that rabbit hole. But he's saying that the five systemic.
Yeah, no, he's right. I get it. That's a big deal.
Are those five categories?
The major.
Is real estate, finance, political, criminal justice, and real estate. Because of the zoning and all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing. That is one thing. But the part of racism that we can control is self-imposed.
And a lot of people connect to.
And a lot of people connect to, and what we really deem it as.
The skin part. You're lesser than I am based on skin is the part that a lot of people experience. They may not even realize why they grew up in the projects or why there's this political agendas. They may not get into that depth of it, but they do understand that they feel like, I've been told this skin color is worse. And even within people who are, I'm black, you're black, but who's blacker? It's like, that's even been a thing. When I came up, that was a thing, was how dark you are.
Right.
And how light skin was celebrated.
Right.
And they have, there's history behind that in terms of house Negro versus field, where the light skinned people got a little bit more privilege. And so that would cause internal conflict between black and black people based on just
further separation and divide.
Yes.
So that is true. And what my point is that what I was deeming as racism, now that I look back on it, it really wasn't. Yeah. It's my own self-imposed racism. It's my own way of thinking of myself.
Right, looking down on
myself
culture, skin
and
color.
Feeling non-worthy of myself. Love is love. And this is why I was so happy to come into this knowing, because it took so much pressure off of, because when you really, because you cannot definitively speak that something is this and something is that when it comes to the division. You can't definitively speak to it, because love is love.
Backtrack. You can't definitively speak on it. What is
so
that?
You can't definitively say that, black love, Asian love, white love. You can't do that, because when you look at life, all kind of people fall in love. So there really is no definition of any type of category of love. Love is just
but
love.
People try to find it.
But that's what I'm saying.
They try to create that category. They'll see two black people together and be like, "Oh, I love black love."
But there's no such thing.
Right. But you're trying to find something to up what's been put down for so long. So you try to find it in every category possible.
Yep.
Yeah. Black love, so powerful, so beautiful.
But what we don't understand is that only digs our hole deeper, because it only furthers the divide. It only takes us out of the all of everything. So we're still keeping out of sight of the circle.
Right.
Because we don't need y'all. We got our own black love.
Yeah.
No, but you're still keeping yourself away from everything that you say you want to be a part of and what you want to be considered as equal to.
Right.
So it's like
I gotta have you. I hate to say it like this, but I have to have you defend yourself, defend your point of view by bringing up the aspect of what is called like Uncle Tom, or that's somebody that's not on the black side of things. You're not defending black stuff. You over there talking that stuff that they be talking about,
right?
Which is also a whole divisionary conversation in the first place. But how are you not on that side, where you don't have to necessarily be all this pro-black, but that doesn't mean that you're on the other side with them, sister.
Okay, so Sebene Salesi, who is an author, and I just was recently introduced to her. She has a book called We Belong. She has taken a break from social media. That's the one I told you who took a break from social media. So she had this wonderful quote, and I forgot who said it, but I can take a stand without taking sides. And that's exactly where I am. And a person that we call, because I was even subjected to this when I had responded to somebody's post, and I was saying, and in my response, it was more of, why are we looking at it from this division of or separated type of perspective, why don't we look at it from a different perspective? And when I said that I was labeled as severely uninformed, which is what we do to each other, though, when we don't go along with the masses, when we don't go along with popular opinion, when we don't go along with popular rhetoric, we are now severely informed, or we get so gravely insulted. So for the Uncle Toms, they're not Uncle Toms, they're not siding with anyone, they're being true to themselves.
Right.
And that's what's important. You don't have to just go along to get along. Be true to yourself. And being true to yourself, if it contradicts what the popular opinion is, then so be it.
Yeah, we're all different out
They
here.
can go to hell, because at the end of the night, you lay down with yourself.
Right.
And so for me, be an Uncle Tom all day if it means being true to yourself.
Right. That's interesting. That's bold in and of itself. You support the Uncle Tom sister?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do.
Because if they're being real,
if it's being true to yourself, and you don't feel like you're being pressured because you're black, that you have to think this way or believe this way or see a person this way. No, be true to yourself.
That's interesting. Who says that I'm supposed to be on your side,
because
whatever side?
Of the color. No.
There is some straight up ignorance to that.
If your morals don't align with mine, I don't care what skin color that you have, that I can't be in synergy with you.
That's it.
I can't.
Yeah, we just don't work together.
We just don't work together. Not saying that I'm better than you or you're worse than me.
You shouldn't exist, though.
I'm not saying that at all.
Exactly.
Live in your own right, but don't think that I'm obligated because of the color of my skin that I have to adopt a certain level of thinking and a certain mindset. I don't share that with you.
Right.
I respect yours, respect mine. If that means that you're revoking my black card or whatever, so be it. What is it going to do to me? What is it going to do to me?
That's a good point. This is juicy. So, what else? Anything else?
Okay. Kanye West.
I didn't hear it. I've heard the newest tirade, the Kanye raid.
The Kanye raid.
Yeah. The new slaves, but we weren't necessarily completely on the same page on that. Where I was like, I get what he's saying, but we were on the, you know what? We were on the same page, but maybe a different paragraph.
Right.
At times, because I was like, I get what he's saying, but you were like, yeah, but you get. Because
I'm like, shut up, Kanye.
Yeah, shut up, Kanye. You're multi-millionaire talking about the.
Yeah, because when you say that the basketball association, basketball players, NBA.
Well, that part we're on the same paragraph on that one.
Yeah, because when you're saying that basketball players are the new modern slaves, that artists on record labels are the new modern slaves, I'm like, go sit down somewhere. Just take several seats to the back. Because my thing is, babe, like I told you in the car.
Yeah.
When you're living in a house that is as big as our whole apartment building, take several seats to the back, please.
But I don't think the comment has to do with. But you have to look at it a little differently, because he's aware of his bank statement. He's aware of his living situation, and still made the statement.
Because
so
he's
it's
pissed
not
off right now because he's tied into a contract, right? And he said he's not making any more music until he's out of his contract. That's what he said. That's what was on Google. Okay, yeah. So that was on Google today. I didn't tell you that part because I don't, I'm not into the rap world.
We were talking about the slaves.
But this is what I think. This is what catapulted that comment from him. Because somehow there's some contractual stuff that's going on with him and his music, and he says, I'm not making any more music until I'm free of my Sony contract or whatever. Somebody can correct me or whatever.
Yeah.
So in seeing that, that's how he's saying that he's enslaved, because he cannot get out of his contract.
Are you sure that's what he was saying?
I'm not sure.
And that's not just, maybe that's a part of it. Like, this is me, I'm able to point at an example of this is the kind of stuff that's going on. But because he made the song, and I was playing it, and I was listening to it today. He made the song New Slaves a few albums ago. So it was before this whole thing came up. That album is at least a year and a half, 2 years old.
So he's back on that tirade.
But what he was saying is, in that situation, is even being so heavily pulled into the seduction of being a consumer and making all this money and spending it on the highest brand labels, and that even that is a new form of slavery. Even that is like getting you
so
pulled
are
in.
we talking about his shoes that cost $1,500 a pair? Are we talking about that?
First of all, they're not $1,500 a pair.
Okay, $1,200.
They're $1,250.
And they're ugly. They are very. So that's what I'm saying. So
looking.
it's like certain things, and this is what we don't do as a society, as a people. We don't think for ourselves, because we'll say as soon as we see the word enslaved, we're like, yeah, that's right, because we're so eager to be victims. We're so eager to be, the part of the underdog. And so my thing for Kanye, okay, I'm gonna let you have the floor, but just 1 second. My thing with Kanye is Kanye West. You have the freedom and flexibility to go anywhere in this world that you want to go to on your private jet.
Yeah.
You have more money than mankind. You live
Not that
a
much,
life, but you know what I mean. You live a life that 90% of Americans dream to live, no matter what color of our skin, no matter what our background is. You live a life that 90% of us dream to live. If you want to play Monopoly with somebody at 3 a.m. in the morning because you're feeling lonely, you can afford to pay that person to come over and play Monopoly with you.
Right.
Don't tell me about you feeling like you're enslaved. You can leave that industry at any point in time you want to, and it will not compromise your quality of living.
How about this?
Not 1 iota.
How about this?
Okay.
How about all the money in the world, can pay people to play Monopoly with them, can fly everywhere, and still knows for sure that is not bringing that level of peace or happiness.
That ain't got nothing to do with you being a slave, though.
Maybe.
No. Well, so then you're self-imposed. Don't say that the NBA.
He's talking about the system itself is designed
That ain't got
to
nothing.
have you feel like you're achieving a lot, but you're really just supporting the shittiness of the system.
Okay, so
at the end
take
of the
yourself
day.
out of the system. Take yourself out of the narrative.
He
gotta
filed
find
bankruptcy. He was broke for a second and then got all the millions back.
And that was an economic deploy. Like, everybody know that he was not broke. You got corporations.
For him, it was broke.
No,
for
you
us,
got
I like
corporations
you that kind
who
of
file
broke.
bankruptcy every single day.
They're not broke,
That
broke.
is just a maneuver.
Yeah.
That's a maneuver. So don't, Kanye.
He called-
take several seats to the back.
He called
So
Jay-Z
here's
and
my
asked
thing.
for a couple mil.
You're making my point for me. You're making my point for me. Thank you very much. Because if you're talking about peace within, that has nothing to do with anything external to you. You gotta do the work.
That's
Kanye,
true,
you
but
have a platform that most of us dream that we have, the financial freedom to do whatever it is that if you feel like you have to go to do inner work in the deepest caves in India, you can do that without worrying about suffering financially.
That's all true, but what do
Take
you?
yourself
but what
out
do
of the
you-
slave
what-
narrative. Take that out, because it's an insult. It's an insult. You can have a choice to leave and not financially hurt.
But what are you? But so what are you saying? Are you saying that the system that is set up right now, with that the non-millionaires that the masses are into, there's not some shit going on? There's
But
nothing
he's
going
spreading
on.
the wrong message. So if you feel like you're enslaved, then the rest of us can just lay down and give it up. We can just give up hope. If you feel like you're enslaved, then the message that you're sending to everyone else, y'all can forget it. Because y'all got somebody over y'all all the time. And if y'all leave, y'all live a paycheck to paycheck. What you think? So that is really
Okay.
disempowering the people.
Okay.
So Kanye, stop it.
that-
I'm gonna need you to take several seats to the back. Stop it.
Okay, that I can roll with. That even if you feel that that's the case, no matter what your income is, know that there's a system going on that's playing with people. No matter what you have in your life, you're still in it and you're still being sucked into it. Okay, you can make that as an initial statement and then move into how you empower.
Thank you.
Not just this is some bullshit.
Thank you.
Even
and that's
me, I'm
my
a slave,
point.
and then leave it
People
at that.
with this type of platform, you need to figure out how to empower us. If you want to talk about all this slavery shit, okay, fine. But now tell us how to bring ourselves up out of it.
Right.
Because it's possible.
Right.
And it starts with your mindset. So Kanye, take several seats to the back. And here's the thing, I'm not even against Kanye.
I'm surprised you don't have him standing in the back. I'm surprised he gets a seat.
Yeah, you don't even get a seat. That's right. Stand in your Yeezys, Kanye.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, it's like I'm not pro anybody. Kanye has some good messages that I can't say good, that's a judgment. Kanye has some messages that I'm okay with, and others I'm not. I don't agree with. And this is one that I don't agree with. Go stand several rows to the back.
Go stand now.
Several rows to the back.
Well, you heard it, Kanye. It's not playing. Kanye's not going to see this.
And he ain't got to. This is not for him. This is for us.
Word. Come on, man. Empower. What's wrong with you, Kanye? Anything else besides Kanye?
Okay, let me see. Kanye. Okay, let's talk about that conversation you had with that police officer the other day.
Oh, that is good. That is good. All right, so to recap, it's happened more than one time where I have felt the inner inspiration in a moment. It usually happens in a bodega or in a deli or something like that, where there's officers come in to get what they want to get, and something tells me to make a positive comment to them that involves their service. Because no matter what the climate is, no matter what's going on, it's a dangerous job. They have that mindset of, I don't know what might pop off. I should have an easygoing day. I'll be on Riverside Drive. That's my assignment. But I don't know when something will pop off. I have that job where shit can pop off, or I have that job where when something's popping off between other people, I gotta jump in. Other people have the option to go run,
right. But my job is to jump in,
to get involved.
Yeah, and put myself in harm's way.
Right. So it's possibly dangerous at any given time. So with that in mind, I've had like these urges or these messages to comment on that to them, and I've let it bypass a couple of times here and there. But as you brought up, I decided fine. It was so loud that I listened. That to acknowledge an officer and just go up to them randomly, which is what I did. He was in his the van where a lot of them can ride at the same time. And
You're talking about in New York.
In New York, yeah, he's in his van, and my car was double parked outside, and I got my stuff, and I saw him in his van, and I went up there, and I said to him, I said, "Excuse me," and he gave that look like, like, what is it?
Right.
Because it's like, it's like a nonstop, what is it now? And I said, I just wanted to say that I appreciate your thank you for your service, which I feel weird because it's normally a thing you say to the military, that kind of thing.
Right.
But I wanted to say in that same kind of regard, thank you for your service, and it's a dangerous job. And nowadays it's a thankless job because there's so much tension.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's the worst job to have right now. It's the worst job to have right now. And you're right. I don't hear thank yous almost never. I never hear thank yous for this job. And then he started getting into how he feels, how it's just terrible that the viewpoint is cop versus this, cop versus black, white versus black.
That's what he was talking about morally.
He said that it's not a color thing for him. It's definitely a moral thing. If you don't have a certain level of morals and you're down for whatever when it comes to crime, then I'm against you. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you don't have morals.
And I signed up for this.
Yeah, I signed up to take down people who don't have morals and don't want to just do whatever. So I don't care about color. But then he says to me but the media talks about this versus that, us versus them, color versus color, and makes the division even greater.
Yeah, to keep the divide.
Yes. Yep. And it was like kind of cool and weird to hear him say it when we've been talking about it, and he's sitting there saying, the freaking media is causing more division.
And that's what it was an interesting thing, because my sister has said to me the other day, she was like, Tezra, so we only hear about like black people getting shot, black people getting shot. So do they really want us to believe that it's only black people getting shot out here?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, thank you, because that's a sign of waking up.
Yes.
You know, the media just wants to keep us divided, and so that's why they're going to pit police against, you know, black people. Pit medical America against black people. You know, it's all to support the divide. And the thing is, too, is that in this, we're running a real danger here. And the danger is that we're not teaching people that we are also responsible for our own selves.
Say again?
That we are also responsible for our own selves.
Right. Well, that doesn't help with the agenda, because when you were mentioning the divide, I was thinking of why the divide. The divide, you know, everybody has heard of divide and conquer. You're talking about a game of power, and what couples with that power is wealth and control. Those three things go hand in hand. Power, wealth, and control.
Can I go back to Tyrone's hand? Systemic, because that's exactly what it is. It's power, it's the real estate, it's the finance, it's the political party, it's the criminal justice, and it's the education. I probably messed it up. But that is where the power
those different areas of attack
power
and control to make sure you maintain.
So if you maintain control of those systems, then your agenda is continually to being, you know, fulfilled.
Especially when you are a very small population of the earth. So if you have, if it's only a couple thousand of y'all, which is it's very small amount compared to you know, the population of the planet. I mean, you only have a couple of thousand people that want to maintain that power, and maintain that what is it called, the establishment. We sometimes get lost in that word, but just break it down. It's just what we have established. We established it, so it's the establishment. So to keep that going, and there's so many of y'all compared to us, I need these devices.
Exactly, because if y'all start to wake up,
and work together,
I'm dead.
We have a problem.
I'm dead.
We have a problem.
It's a big problem.
So it's much better.
But you know what? But that's where our podcast. Sorry for the shameless plug. But that is where our podcast truly comes into play. It's to wake us up. To realize that the power lies and resides and abides within. So it's not to absolve everyone of their own culpability and whatever the situation is, because that's disempowering. That's keeping you right where you are. And like Jacob, from his hospital bed, he did the black community. And I don't know how many people really heard what he was saying. He was like, change your life. He never once said, look
Blake?
What they did to Jacob Blake. He never once said, look at what they did to me. He said, change your life, because only he knew the mental state that he was in when he went to his truck with guns drawn on him to turn his back to reach down. Only he knew what mental state that he was in. Like, I don't give a fuck right now.
There's people that's mad at that kind of a statement because it doesn't support me getting to be out there and be mad for
I don't
you.
I don't care.
Be
Listen
mad
to what,
for you.
Right.
And you're like, no, I don't need you to be mad for me.
For me. Right. I need you to just let me keep being the victim. No. Listen to what he said. Change.
And his mama said that before he made his statement.
Oh my God, his mother's statement was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. She was like, yo, we have to change.
If he was conscious right now, he would be very upset about what he's...
And she said, we got to change our hearts. We got to change our hearts.
Yeah, that was big of both of them. Because the mama can be quick to just be like,
defend her baby.
My son,
to
my
defend
baby.
her baby.
Yeah,
right. But she was like, no.
Right.
He would not be happy with this. And so if nothing else speaks to this community, more than ever, is Jacob Blake and his mother's statement. But you know what we'll probably do? We'll probably say, oh, that was sweet. That was nice. Okay, keep on going. Okay, now where's the next victim?
Yeah, we're acting right.
Because we're not talking about what we want to, protest about and what we want to pillage about and what we want to destroy and, loot about. Right. What they're saying is not supporting that.
Yeah.
Next person.
Right.
But what they're saying is real. What they're saying is the magic to freedom, which is the magic to turning things around for yourself. Take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah. That's all in alignment with waking up, taking responsibility, and then those kind of things lead to unity. All those things lead to this house of cards just toppling over. And so it's all in alignment.
Are we doing another round?
We can do another round, but not live, not with you guys.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do another round as a married couple.
Yeah, just us doing a round, and maybe that guy.
So seriously, okay, we're gonna turn it to y'all for a second. Mm-hmm. So we want to hear like your comments.
Word.
Because you know what, it's real. It's really real, and people may listen to our podcast and they may think, oh, they're so airy-fairy, they don't know what it's really like out here in these streets or whatever. But you have to realize what's illusionary.
Yeah.
Because the media wants to keep us under this illusion. The media wants you to believe that what you're experiencing right now is real for yourself, but that's a lie. That's a lie.
There's a ton of people that still have a hard time with, but why would they lie to us though? There's a nice amount a nice amount of the population. There's so many Americans, so many people that watch television. There's a nice little percentage of, but why would they, but that's the innocence and the gullible aspect of how we are when we first start as kids. You can convince kids of Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, this and that, the boogeyman in the closet. Kids will believe you for a moment, at least. So there's an aspect of us that do believe things.
But this is for all people. We have to begin to think for ourselves. We have to begin to use discrimination. Because if you really look at it, like the shit that media be saying, they will come back a week later and contradict the same thing that they just told us. So now we don't know what to think. So at some point we have to really, and trust me, God gave us a brain to think for ourselves. And so eventually we have to just go within and just say, wait a minute, does that really make sense? Like, does that really hold up? Because let me tell you something. All of this, this racism and black love, and it can't hold up. It really doesn't hold up. Because when you start to use other examples, like say for instance, if we want to say that you can't make it in this society, you can't make it in this world, I'm gonna use Kanye as an example. If it was really and truly that, then Kanye himself just dismantled all of that. Kevin Hart, he said, I wasn't supposed to be here.
Right.
If I am to listen to what they said that I was able to do, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
But that's why it doesn't hold up, because what really holds up is your own abominable spiritual spirit. That is what holds up to anything.
Right.
So we have to begin to look at what really holds up.
Yeah.
Because if we look at, you just can't say, oh, they just got lucky. The Tiffany Haddishes, the Kevin Harts, the Jamie Foxxes, the Kanye West.
Perseverance. That's getting in touch with that part of you, that inner strength that drives you into your success.
That is what's incontrovertible.
Yeah.
That's what holds up. Anything besides that does not hold up.
Yeah.
It's you believing into that illusory.
Yeah. And you know what you're really saying? You're really just kind of commenting on how hard it is. It's just it's hard.
It's not. That's true.
It's hard
that's
work.
True.
It's
that's
hard,
true.
persistent.
Are we doing another round?
One more round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's hard. It's hard. It's persistent and consistent work. And when
it's easier to blame somebody else.
And when you don't want to do it, or when it's very hard to do, then you can just talk about why they were the fluke. they just happen to make it, but you see the rest of us, we're not making it. Like it's easy to do the cop out. It's but you really gotta
do the work.
You gotta do the work,
and you can't expect a handout. You can't expect for the easy road. It's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
Yo guys, it's okay.
No, it's cool.
Riding bikes is not easy.
Yeah. Cheers.
It's you gotta do the work.
Don't drink and ride bikes.
Somebody just crashed.
I hope so.
Right?
Yeah. Guy just crashed his bike.
But the thing is that we have to do the work. We can't be so eager to hold ourselves as a victim. I mean, you can. I'm not telling you not to.
Go ahead.
But just know that if that's what you're choosing, then that's what kind of life that you're going to have. If you want a life of empowerment, then you have to have responsibility for yourself.
It's tough. It's tough. It's like, I don't want to say it from the point of view of, you got to be responsible for yourself. And if you're not, then screw you. It's not. I don't want to have that edge on it. It's just acknowledging that it's not easy.
Because we're not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, our second round has just. Is this the second or third? Second. Okay. So our second round.
Third round.
This is third round?
Third round.
No, it isn't. Number 3?
Yes.
Okay. So we're not telling you, what to do with your life. We're not telling you how to live. But what we're telling you is that if you want to do something different, if you want to live a life of empowerment, if you want to live a life of quality, then it lies within you. Don't look for it externally. Don't look for it to be given to you.
And it's tough. I want to keep circling back. It is tough. It's hard.
It's hard as shit.
Because when things aren't going how I want them to, or I want to, elevate, and I feel like it's just not happening, it's tough for me to look in the mirror and be like, it's you that's not doing certain things that help to elevate yourself.
Right.
You have to take the helm, take control, and just do what it takes to just get that inner desire going. It's hard to place the blame right where it goes, or not even blame. I don't even like that word. The responsibility,
accountability.
The accountability where it goes, because we can always say, well, Trump, and everything outside of you is what you point to. So it's like I already know that's a setup. As soon as you start pointing outside of you, you already you're setting yourself up. You're going down that wrong road. So it's like I gotta always circle back to what am I not doing and get myself going.
And here is the thing: in the yoga tradition and the ancient wisdom teachings, we call it tapasya. And tapasya is that austerity, it's that discipline. And so what we have to do is we have to have discipline over our own lives. So, like, for me, like, I didn't get the SBA loan or whatever. I can't see it's because I'm black. They don't know what color I am. It's because I didn't give them the information that they required. But I'm going to go back and give it to them and see what happens.
Right.
But even if I'm still denied a second time, I can't say it's because of the color of my skin. They don't know what color I am. Right. Well, they didn't, but now that they know because of my website. But the first time that I was denied, it's not because of that.
Yeah, and even color or no color, it's like...
Can we just cheers real quick?
Yeah.
I want to take a sip. Have a good night. Okay, cheers. Cheers to empowerment.
Cheers to empowerment.
Cheers to you, babe.
Yes. Even all colors aside, though, when it comes to the example of talking about getting the loan, it's like even if you don't get it, you just don't get it. It's like I'm still gonna make this happen some other way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, they didn't give it to me,
right?
Or whatever.
So right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that unshakable conviction. When you have unshakable conviction, then you are unstoppable. You are unfuckwithable.
Yeah, unfuckwithable.
You are unfuckwithable. Yep. When you have that conviction to set out to do and accomplish whatever it is that you need to do, it does not matter the color of your skin, because guess who is on your side? When you have the universe on your side, when you have supreme power on your side,
it's a big place.
That's a big place.
It's a lot of energy.
Nothing can get in your way.
Side, right?
And so that's why we on our podcast, that's why we teach on how to get in touch with that. That is the key to taking yourself out of this racist narrative that we live in this society.
Yeah. We know there's messed up stuff out here in the world. You know it's out there. But once you start letting that be your crutch, your reason, the thing you point to all the time,
you can forget it. Lay down.
Forget about it.
Lay down.
Yeah, there's stuff out here. There's crazy stuff going on.
And that's why we together and separately have taken ourselves out of the narrative. There is nobody out here that can stop me from doing what I want to do. Not one single person, not one single institution. Because I know what lives in me. I know what energizes my body. I know what is the life force in me. So nobody. I'm unfuckwithable. But I have to, first of all, know that. And so I have to realize my own money story.
Right, I was just thinking that we have to work through our own
shit.
Like, yeah, it's not like, oh, we're unfuckwithable and therefore we're talking down from the mountaintop down to you people and hopefully you can join us. No, it's like it's like we realize that it's still the same routine, no matter whether it's us or it's you or whoever. That we have to get our shit together. We have to find those parts that are our weaker points and strengthen them, not try to find out who is doing it to
not
us.
Not pinpoint it on somebody externally.
I gotta build my strengths up. I gotta acknowledge that I have weak points. I have to acknowledge that I'm trying to still figure shit out. I'm still learning. I gotta get myself going. Like it keeps circling back to you over and over and over again.
Because if we continue to point the finger externally, this will never end. It will never end.
Yeah, you're waiting for somebody else to stop doing something to you, and then now I can get mine because now they stop finally victimizing me.
This is a stop sign.
Right.
It stops right here.
Yeah.
And so that's why that is what our podcast is about. It's about self-empowerment. Yeah. It's about taking yourself out of this narrative that society says about you.
Right.
Remove yourself out of the narrative.
That's the title. All these things we're talking about, all this stuff that people try to relate to and point at as the reason why things are not going well, I am not that. I am not those things. Those things are not the things in my way. I am not that limited thing that I think of sometimes. That happens. That happens.
That was what was holding our phone up.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to
conclude.
Yeah, conclude and get to our drinks. So, but it's like, and here's the thing: people can say whatever they want to say about our podcast. Oh, they're airy fairy. Oh.
They're not in touch with the real deal.
They're not in touch.
What's really going on out here.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Oh, okay. So but this is one thing that I do stand my unshakable conviction as a black woman in this society. Nobody has more power over me than I do. And that's real talk. If I have a bad attitude and I get pulled over by a cop and I get that person, whoever it is, if I have a bad attitude and I want to go exchange something at Best Buy or something, and I have a bad attitude in doing so, I should not be surprised when I don't get the cooperation that I expect to have.
Right.
Because I'm bringing my own toxic energy to a situation.
Right.
So I have to be responsible for what I'm bringing to the situation.
Yeah.
My own thoughts.
That's often skipped by some folks. Is what are you bringing to the table? It's always about what they're doing, what they're not doing, what all
right.
That good stuff.
Because in this society, the only thing that we're taught is first education. We're not taught about second education.
It's getting dark.
It is getting dark, so that's why I'm about to do this.
The phone's a little hazy.
It is a little hazy, but that's all right. I got you, boo. I got you. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wait. No, this.
Oh,
there you go.
HD.
He's so stupid.
That did make a big difference.
And I married him anyway.
Yeah. July 11th.
But in July 11th. Yeah, but here's the thing. What was I saying?
You were saying that you can't go up in Best Buy with your attitude and get your TV.
Right. So and this is the other thing that we teach on is about energy. Right. Because second education. So that's how I was going. So second education is education on the self. It's education on that spiritual self. It's education on the part of us that is God, that we don't touch upon in the society. Because you know why? As Babe was talking about earlier, those behind the curtain, those maybe 1,000 folks who control the country, they know. And actually, I've seen this on The Secret. Watch The Secret documentary. They know that if you begin to realize the power that you carry because you are a spiritual being, and the power of your thought waves, if you realize that, the game is over for them.
Yeah. Especially the unity quality of it, where people start to realize it together and band together. It's a big it's a huge problem. It's a big problem. Right. So we have to do as many things as we can to keep them divided, not thinking about it, not focused on it, keep them entertained, get on your phones, buy things, consume, buy stuff, play video games.
Hence media.
Yeah.
Black people have the worst health care. Black people don't have a vote. Black people, are at the lowest of the financial earning bracket.
Anything,
Black people, anything.
Any statistical information to get you jumping from one side to the other and not focusing on
believing yourself to be less than and divided from the rest.
And not focusing on your inner divinity.
Yeah.
Anything but that. Please don't focus on that, because you'll start to feel that power. You'll start to see that power. You'll start to notice it, and then you'll also start to notice how much commonality you have between being to being to being. And then it's game over. So we don't need game over. We need you distracted, divided.
Right.
Oh yeah, I had a phone call. Now we're back.
Yeah. Okay. That was my sister-in-law, his sister.
My sister. Yeah.
She may be going.
I'll call you back. Are you there?
Okay, we'll call you back.
I'll call you back.
But we love you though.
Yeah, love you.
Heart.
Booyah!
That goes out to back. Okay. So anyway, we're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna
go.
But
we just want you guys to really know that our podcast, we're deadly serious. We are so serious about this.
Yeah.
That is unshakable conviction. That if you realize the power that is in you, you are unstoppable. You are an unstoppable badass. You are unfuckwithable. No system, no person can stop you from doing and going where you want to go in life or being what you want to be in life.
Let me add this part. If you know, like many of us, you've been practicing some really shitty habits, limited thinking, you've been doing it so long that this stuff seems out of reach and far-fetched, understandable, totally understandable. What you do is you begin that process.
Baby steps.
Begin the process. Little by little, you start to do some practices, do meditations, try different things to open that up more and more. Don't just say it's just too hard to get to that.
And notice when you're feeling good, and going throughout your day, notice what happens to you. Notice how people are responding to you. And when you're having a shitty day, when you're not feeling good, notice what happens.
Yeah.
Notice what kind of interactions you're having. It's true. It's a true story.
Yeah, it's an aspect of listening, and not just only with your ears, like paying close attention.
Paying close to what's happening, to what's going on, and how am I contributing to this? It's not just happening to us. How am I contributing to this? Okay, y'all, we got to go. My drink is getting flat.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We love you guys.
Love you.
All right. Cheers.
All right.
This is the back of the house. This is the house.